First, an introduction of a few of our main characters. We have Neil, who is outgoing and independent, and then we have Todd, who is Neil's foil, meaning he is exactly the opposite. And then we have Mr. Keating. The film takes place at the Walton Academy for Boys. It is quickly apparent that this is a strict college preparatory boarding school where students are subject to incredibly boring lectures by their teachers. Then along comes Mr. Keating, who is played by Robin Williams, a character we know in real life. He encourages the students to think outside the box by saying, "If you are daring, you can call me, oh Captain, my Captain." His teaching styles can be described as unorthodox at best, evident in his trip to the school's photography case where he gave a unique lesson to the importance of living life to the fullest. He explicitly says, "Carpe diem, seize the day, boys." After telling the boys to rip pages out of their poetry book, Keating tells them that we don't read and write poetry because it's cute, we read and write poetry because we're members of the human race. Mr. Keating also gives a lesson on perspective by saying, "I stand upon my desk to remind myself that we must constantly look at things in a different way." One day, Neil comes up with an idea after finding a picture of Keating in an old Walton yearbook with Dead Poets Society listed as one of his activities. Upon being asked about it, Keating explains that the secret club was dedicated to reading poetry and ultimately sucking the meaning out of life in an old cave not far from the school. Neil wants to recreate this. Overall, the boys are able to become individuals much to the dismay of Admin and Neil's dad. Neil has decided to participate in a school play against his dad's orders, and he actually ends up being really good. His dad then pulls him from Wilton and plans on sending him to a military boarding school. His dad explicitly says, "Neil, you're going to a military boarding school." Spoiler alert, Neil gets so upset that he kills himself, and his dad actually believes that it is all Keating's fault. Ultimately, Keating is fired because his teaching methods were thought to be the cause of Neil's death, and in the final scene, the boys salute Keating as he grabs his belongings. What does this have to do with philosophy? The film seems to follow transcendentalist ideals. Transcendentalists believe in individuality, meaning they should be self-reliant and independent, which we see in Neil. Individuals should also resist conformity, which is what Keating encourages against. This is apparent when looking at the fates of key characters. The transcendentalists, such as the Dead Poets, are all happier, while those who oppose individuality, like Neil's dad, and Admin in relation to Keating, are all unhappy by the end of the film. Therefore, the Dead Poets Society is a transcendentalist film. The end.